We tour the casa?
Yeah.
Okay. My name's Jake.
My name's Andrae Michael.
We are the Grandma Boys.
Grandma homies.
Yeah.
We've been homies for almost a little over a decade now. So we would always just talk about skating and just wanting to be involved with it. And he brought up the idea. Originally you said something about doing a board shop, right?
Yeah, just a regular old skateboard shop. But then it kind of slowly evolved into just a board company, which in hindsight was the better move, I think.
The best way to describe it is he's just doing everything by hand. If your grandma was baking some cookies for you.
Welcome to the crib. This is my cat Lucky. He's a very sweet young man. So I keep all the wood in here. It just kind of makes sense. It's really humid in the garage and it gets really hot here in the summer. We get this stuff from northern Wisconsin, Canadian maple. And back here, this is mission control, kind of where all the orders are processed. You see we have a bunch of boards that are in various stages of production. This little dude's not supposed to be in here and he knows that, so he's stoked right now. Cool, so once the boards are off the press, they kind of go in a stack here. I mark them with the date just so I know when they were pressed, and then about 5 days after they're pressed, I cut them out just so that glue has enough time to kind of cement. Then once they're cut out, they come back in here. And this is one that we're working on right now. I still have to do the graphics and lacquer and whatever, but they'll come back in here until I'm ready for them. Once they're back in here for the final time, let's see, I think this is the finished one down here. Oh, it's so fucking mini. Like this one, so that one would be ready for packaging. But yeah, we also have the graphics over here. So the graphics come in these heat transfer sheets, which is kind of cool. I didn't know that before I started doing this, but there's this white heat activated ink on the back, which helps it stick to the lacquer. And yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. Yeah, I don't know, it's just my house. Yeah. I don't know, it's not really that special. But out here we got the real mission control. So yeah, all the action kind of starts here on this table. We'll take the veneers, take this little glue roller, roll them out, throw them in the press. They'll sit in the press for about 6.5 hours. Then I'll pull them down and set them in that room. Then yeah, once they're done, they come back out here. We throw them on this CNC router. This is actually how we cut out all the boards now. And I'm pretty stoked on it because it saves so much time and the cuts are so much more accurate now with that. Before we were hand cutting them with that bandsaw back there and this little table router, and it just took forever. But with this, we're really able to kind of dial in and save a lot of time and get really good shapes. This is a stack of shit we've already cut out on there. So these are kind of cool. No idea what to do with them though, other than make keychains or some shit. But I have some almost keychains. So we did a charity thing with those. We made 1,000 of them and we sent them out to skate shops all over the country. I think it was 40 shops total. That took so long. That was crazy. Yeah, I thought 1,000 initially. I was yeah, whatever. It's easy. They're that small, but 1,000's a lot. And it's kind of feel stupid just figuring that out as I go. Dude, I took a shop class in 8th grade, but we just played Halo the whole time. Before this I had very elementary woodworking skills, but all of this is just from Google. For me, starting out buying all this machinery, it was just kind of out of ignorance as to how skateboard companies actually produce boards. Obviously I knew about distribution companies like NHS or Baker Boys, but I kind of figured that all the companies in the scene are kind of just making their own boards, which they're not.
It just takes the flavor away, dude. This is not fun. This is not, it's just not as cool.
I just want to continue making skateboards. I don't care if it's in here or where it is, but it's a lot of fun now. We're meeting so many cool people and we're connecting with, skate scenes all over the country, and different shop owners, and it's awesome, Hey, what's up?
All right, what kind of shit
show you got going on here now with all this stuff. Oops.
Have you seen this yet?
No, you're okay.
I'm so sorry.
You're good. I think last time you saw this, we were just kind of like figuring it out.
Still trying to figure out. Well, I heard you guys laughing last night.
I was just asking, I was like, so what do your neighbors think about, like,
I think
just
he's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
We have to live with them, so what are we gonna do, you know? No, he couldn't have cooler neighbors.
I
At
agree.
least I say so.
Being able to be involved with something like this that just like is skateboarding and like deeply rooted in like just like the community here and like the skate scene here is like, it's crazy. Like, no, I did not expect it to be anything like this, but this is definitely something that like I feel like every young skateboarder wants to do.
Yeah, I think, you know, as a kid, everyone's like, oh, I'm going to be a pro skateboarder, you know, but I feel like a lot of people kind of realize quickly, like, oh, that's a lot harder than it sounds, you know, and like without putting in that work, like every day that, you know, some people just can't put in, whatever. I guess I always wanted skateboarding to be like a part of my life. You know, pretty quickly I was like, okay, there's no way I can be pro because like I just don't have that. You know, like I'm a coward. And then there's a bunch of like DIY skateboard companies too, like a lot of smaller people doing kind of what we're doing. Before I started doing this, I didn't know the DIY community was so large. But if you go on Instagram and you look up like DIY skateboards, there's like, I would say like hundreds of companies, you know, trying to do something like what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so like we're not original by any means in our approach to making skateboards, but I hope that the art, you know, and the way we conduct ourselves is original in some way. This is the best time to like do something like what we're doing, where, you know, 10, 20 years ago, there's massive barriers to entry for people that want to like get into the skateboarding industry. I mean, back then, like you really do have to like link up with a distribution company. There's no real strong skateboarding on social networks. You know, there's no Instagram, there's no TikTok. Like it's so hard to like connect with other skateboarders, you know, if you're not already in that world.
Yeah.
If you're not like at parks in California, like talking to people that like are in that world.
Yeah.
So like just being able to do this now, like it's so cool, you know.
Yeah.
Different world for sure. For the most part, I'm usually happy with like what we send out, and I'm super picky about it. Like I feel like I'm the most critical one about it, you know. But you know, I just want like, you know, if you're gonna pay like full retail for a board, like even though it's from a garage, I still want it to be like primo, you know what I mean?